Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Most plants survive by absorbing nutrients from the soil, but carnivorous plants took a completely different path, evolving some of the most unusual and fascinating hunting strategies in nature. From sticky traps to living pitfall traps and lightning-fast jaws, these incredible plants prove that the natural world is far stranger than fiction. In today's video, we'll explore some of the most remarkable carnivorous plants on Earth. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our future adventures into the most fascinating corners of nature. At first glance, the Venus flytrap looks almost unreal. A plant that snaps shut on insects sounds more like science fiction than something growing in the wetlands of North Carolina. Yet, this carnivorous plant is very real, and its hunting strategy is one of nature's most fascinating adaptations. Unlike most plants, the Venus flytrap doesn't rely only on the soil for nutrients. It evolved in nutrient-poor bogs where elements such as nitrogen are scarce. To compensate, it developed a unique way of feeding itself. Each trap is a modified leaf lined with tiny trigger hairs. When an insect touches one hair, nothing happens. But if a second touch follows within about 20 seconds, the plant detects potential prey rather than a raindrop or debris. The trap then snaps shut in a fraction of a second, making the Venus flytrap one of the fastest-moving plants on Earth. However, it does not seal completely at first. Small gaps between its tooth-like edges allow very small insects to escape, helping the plant avoid wasting energy on prey that is not worth digesting. If the trapped insect keeps struggling, the fly trap receives additional stimulation and closes more tightly. It releases digestive enzymes that break down the insect over several days. After digestion is complete, the trap reopens, leaving behind only the remains that cannot be digested. Each trap can repeat this process only a limited number of times before it dies and is replaced. Because every closure requires energy, the plant has evolved mechanisms that reduce false alarms. Although the Venus flytrap has no brain, muscles, or nervous system, it can effectively distinguish prey from non-prey and respond in ways that improve its chances of survival. That makes it one of the most remarkable plants in the world. At first glance, the tropical pitcher plant might look like something straight out of a fantasy movie. Hanging from its leaves are strange, colorful pitchers that resemble exotic flowers or decorative ornaments. But these elegant structures serve a much darker purpose. Known scientifically as nepenthes, this remarkable carnivorous plant grows in the rainforests of Southeast Asia, where the soil is often poor in nutrients. To solve that problem, evolution gave it a strategy unlike almost anything else in the plant kingdom. Each pitcher is actually a highly specialized trap. The rim is coated with a slippery surface, and many species produce sweet nectar that attracts insects. Ants, flies, beetles, and other unsuspecting visitors are lured to the edge. One wrong step, and they slide into the pitcher below. Escaping is nearly impossible. The inner walls are often covered with a waxy coating that prevents insects from climbing back out. At the bottom waits a pool of digestive fluid packed with enzymes that slowly break down the prey. The nutrients released from this process help the plant survive in environments where other plants would struggle to grow. But some pitcher plants take things even further. Larger species have been known to capture frogs, lizards, and even small rodents. One famous species is so large that scientists have found drowned rats inside its pitchers. Despite these stories, the plant isn't actively hunting mammals. It simply takes advantage of whatever falls into its trap. The tropical pitcher plant is a perfect reminder that nature's most beautiful creations can also be its most ruthless. Beneath its elegant appearance lies a sophisticated predator, one that has spent millions of years perfecting the art of turning curiosity into survival. To most people, a swarm of flies is nothing more than an annoyance. But for carnivorous plants, it's an opportunity. In the nutrient-poor wetlands where plants like the Venus flytrap grow, survival isn't always easy. The soil contains very little of the nitrogen and minerals needed for healthy growth. While most plants are forced to make do with what they can find underground, carnivorous species discovered a completely different source of nutrients, an endless supply of insects flying all around them. Every day, countless flies, gnats, beetles, and other small creatures move through these habitats. What looks like chaos to us is actually a constant flow of potential food. Over millions of years, carnivorous plants evolved remarkable ways to take advantage of it. The Venus flytrap became one of the most famous examples of this evolutionary arms race. Rather than competing with neighboring plants for nutrients in the soil, it learned to obtain them from the creatures buzzing overhead. It's a fascinating reminder that nature wastes nothing. Even something as small and seemingly insignificant as a fly can become part of a survival strategy that has allowed these extraordinary plants to thrive for millions of years. In a world full of predators and prey, sometimes even a flower can end up on the hunting side of the equation. Few insects realize they're in danger until it's already too late. What appears to be a cluster of sparkling droplets glistening in the sunlight is actually one of nature's most sophisticated botanical traps. The sundew, known scientifically as Drosera, may look delicate and harmless, but beneath its jewel-like appearance hides a highly effective predator. Unlike most plants, sundews often live in bogs and wetlands where the soil contains very few nutrients. Nitrogen and phosphorus, elements essential for growth, are in short supply. Faced with this challenge, the plant evolved a remarkable solution. Instead of taking everything it needs from the ground, it supplements its diet by capturing and digesting insects. Its secret weapon is a forest of tiny tentacles covering each leaf. At the tip of every tentacle sits a shimmering droplet of sticky mucilage. These droplets sparkle like dew in the sunlight, giving the plant its common name. To an insect, they can resemble water, nectar, or simply a safe place to land. That illusion quickly becomes a fatal mistake. The moment a fly, mosquito, ant, or other small insect touches the sticky surface, escape becomes incredibly difficult. The more the victim struggles, the more firmly it becomes trapped, but the glue is only the beginning of the process. As movement is detected, nearby tentacles slowly begin bending toward the prey. What's especially fascinating is that the sundew doesn't react to everything that touches it. Scientists have found that the plant can distinguish between random debris and potential food. A raindrop usually won't trigger a major response, but the movements and chemical signals produced by a trapped insect often will. Once the prey is securely held, digestive glands release powerful enzymes. Over the course of several days, the insect is broken down and transformed into nutrients the plant can absorb. Eventually, all that remains are the indigestible fragments of the exoskeleton. The sundew proves that a predator doesn't need teeth, claws, or speed to be effective. Sometimes all it takes is patience, a little deception, and a few sparkling drops that look just a bit too beautiful to be dangerous. In nature, bright colors are often a warning. From poisonous frogs to venomous insects, the most eye-catching organisms are sometimes the ones you should approach with caution. While plants don't usually pose the same threats, some have evolved appearances so unusual that they seem almost designed to stand out. Carnivorous plants are among the best examples. Living in nutrient-poor environments, they couldn't rely solely on the soil for survival. Instead, over millions of years, they developed remarkable ways to obtain nutrients from insects and other small creatures. Many species use vibrant colors, striking shapes, and sweet scents to attract potential prey. What looks like a flower can sometimes be a carefully designed trap. Bright reds, oranges, and purples often serve as visual signals, drawing curious insects closer until it's too late to escape. It's a reminder that appearances in nature can be deceiving. Something that looks beautiful, harmless, or even decorative may actually be part of an ingenious survival strategy. And nowhere is that contrast more striking than in the world of carnivorous plants, where some of nature's most colorful creations are also its most unexpected predators. Not all carnivorous plants rely on dramatic traps. The butterwort, known scientifically as Pinguicula, uses a far simpler but surprisingly effective strategy. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary flowering plant, but its glossy leaves hide a deadly secret. Butterworts often grow in nutrient-poor environments where essential elements like nitrogen are scarce. To compensate, they obtain nutrients from insects. Their leaves are covered with thousands of tiny glands that produce a sticky substance, giving the plant a wet, shiny appearance. Small insects are attracted to the glistening surface and land on the leaves, only to discover they're trapped. The more they struggle, the harder it becomes to escape. The plant then releases digestive enzymes that slowly break down the prey, allowing it to absorb valuable nutrients directly through its leaves. Unlike the Venus flytrap, the butterwort doesn't need speed or moving traps to succeed. Its hunting strategy is based on patience. Tiny flies, gnats, mosquitoes, and other small insects regularly become victims of what appears to be nothing more than a harmless leaf. What's especially fascinating is that butterworts are also known for their beautiful flowers. Some plants are so unusual that they don't even look alive. Hidden among rocks, sand, and dry landscapes around the world are species that have evolved shapes unlike anything most people would recognize as a plant. In some of the harshest environments on Earth, survival depends on standing out, or sometimes blending in completely. Over millions of years, certain plants have developed bizarre forms, strange textures, and even unusual scents to attract insects, conserve water, or protect themselves from hungry animals. To us, these plants can look alien, almost as if they belong on another planet. Yet every strange curve, color, and structure serves a purpose shaped by evolution. What appears bizarre at first is often a highly specialized solution to a difficult environmental challenge. The more scientists study unusual plants, the more they discover that the plant kingdom is far less passive than it seems. Beneath the surface lies a world of extraordinary adaptations, where survival has produced some of the strangest life forms found anywhere on Earth.